very sad development for a story we've been following here on Rising. Luis Alvarez, one of the faces of the fight to extend health benefits for 9/11 first responders, died Saturday at the age of 53. The former New York City police detective's passing came after a lengthy battle with cancer. It was caused by the time he spent cleaning up the World Trade Center aftermath. Last month, Alvarez participated in congressional hearings alongside Jon Stewart in support of extending funding for the September 11th Victims Compensation Fund. The fund is set to run out of money before the end of next year. Shortly after his appearance in Washington, Alvarez was committed to a Long Island hospice center. Alvarez was born in Cuba, raised in Queens. He served in the Marines before starting a 2-decade-long career with the NYPD. In a Facebook post announcing his passing, Alvarez's family called him a warrior and noted that the many lives that he had touched. Following Alvarez's testimony, the House Judiciary Committee voted unanimously to permanently reauthorize the fund, and the full House is expected to vote on the new funding before the August recess.
Sad news there. I mean, just think of the life that
Really
this
sad.
man lived. The Marines and then NYPD. I mean,
I saw
and
pictures
then,
of him before when he was really just like a strapping police detective compared to the photos of him, and it was so upsetting to see.
and then
Yeah.
in his last
Right.
days, still be here
Yeah.
fighting for something that he had to have known he was not really going to benefit from, right?
Yeah.
This is for his other fellow survivors and heroes. I mean, it's just rest in peace.
Fought for
sir.
the others till the end.
Indeed. So Sarah Sanders' recent replacement, Stephanie Grisham, had a pretty wild time this weekend. On Sunday, Grisham suffered bruises as a result of a scuffle with North Korean security guards as she attempted to help White House press corps better position themselves to cover President Trump and Kim Jong-un's historic meeting at the demilitarized zone. North Korean guards had other priorities. They created a physical barrier that blocked American journalists from getting through. And in the chaotic scene, Grisham is seen on camera. You see her right there. Get out of my way. Getting into the chaos to get a camera crew through that melee. You could hear her shout, "Go, go!"
That is
impressive.
a good press rank.
Yeah,
That is a very
in
good
her
press
heels
rank
and her
right
dress
there.
and everything, tussling
Yeah.
with security
Hey, that was
guards.
our
I gotta give her props.
That was our first major thing to do as press secretary. So
Yeah.
you know what? Go Stephanie.
Yeah,
You're fighting for us.
Don't mess with that one, man.
Speaking of attacks on the press, rioting by Antifa activists in Portland, Oregon over the weekend left 3 people hospitalized, including the conservative writer Andy Ngo. Police have arrested 3 people in connection with the violence and are asking anyone else who was injured to step forward. According to reports, Antifa members threw eggs and milkshakes filled with quick-dry cement at participates in a right-wing protest not far from the heart of the city. Ngo had been covering protests of the self-described Western chauvinist group, the Proud Boys, when he got caught up in the violence by Antifa. Ngo tweeted photos of his injuries online, and in a video he says that the rioters stole his camera, punched him in the head several times in the face. A group called Rose City Antifa had accused the Proud Boys, who have a history of participating in some street fights, of looking for targets for violent attacks in Portland, and they called for others to defend the city in a blog post that also accused Ngo of promoting the Proud Boys and Islamophobia. In other words, they actually marked him for attack before this demonstration began. I want to say, full disclosure, Andy Ngo is a friend of mine, and it's very upsetting. I mean, there are videos online you can watch of him getting absolutely beaten by these thugs. And the mayor of Portland has said nothing. The Portland police allowed this to happen. I mean, this looks like scenes out of the Weimar Republic in Germany, like armed people in the streets warring. And what the hell is going on?
What these dumbasses think that they're doing. I mean, they're not helping anybody's cause, right? This is not good for the liberal cause. This is a freaking idiotic, disastrous, immoral. Like, this is just stupid. Just stop. What is going on in Portland? Because this seems to, like,
it happens
these clashes
all the time.
are happening there.
These like violent, I mean, in this case, they're violent leftists, continue to harass people. They harass ICE agents.
But there's
and
also
surround
there's the Antifa movement, which is obviously like a real thing there. And then you also though have right-wing provocateurs who are trying to start trouble.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody said about Andy Ngo. They're like, oh, Andy's the one who trolls. No, all he does is put a camera in and show what they're happening. There are a million of these people who did it with white supremacists in Charlottesville who follow them around in order to document what was going on. It is disgusting to me to watch all these journalists excuse the attacks on my friend for doing his job. He was a journalist out in the field. They're saying he was provoking them. Is it provoking whenever MSNBC sticks a camera in a white supremacist face and asks them to defend, what they're doing?
I mean,
no.
Andy is, let's just say, Andy's very controversial. And people may not like his work. That's fine. Just because you think somebody is, not someone that you agree with, let's just say that, doesn't mean that you attack them. It's absurd and, like I said, profoundly unhelpful. I hope that he recovers quickly.
Absolutely. He stayed overnight in the hospital because of a brain bleed. But I'm hoping that his lawyers and everybody can make sure that he's well taken care of after this.
So around the world yesterday, happier news. Millions of rainbow-clad supporters took to the streets to celebrate the final day of LGBTQ Pride Month. The Pride celebrations also commemorated the 50th anniversary of the riot at the Stonewall Inn, where patrons faced off with the police over constant raids and harassment. Many marchers chose to kick off the day at symbolic LGBTQ locations in New York City, places like the Stonewall Inn, New York City's AIDS Memorial on 7th Avenue, and Greenwich Village, a hub of LGBTQ life. CBS reported that during the parade, Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill ending the gay and trans panic defense, which allowed a defendant to argue that their emotional distress about a victim's sexuality was an excuse for violent crime, which is, of course, complete BS. Parades also took place in San Francisco, where Kamala Harris danced with supporters in a rainbow bedazzled jacket. Fabulous. And in Chicago with Lori Lightfoot, the city's new first openly gay mayor. Very cool stuff. Happy end of Pride Month. See you next year, Pride Month.
All right, so tomorrow on Rising, Marie Newman explains why she's challenging a longtime Illinois congressman.
And new research breaks down the white man electability myth. We're going to talk to one of the researchers about her results. Newly relevant. That'll be interesting. Everybody have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow.